All right, so crafting your 90-day content marketing strategy. So we're going to go through a few things here. First up, planning and consistency. Look at the team that you have available, look at the resources you have available, and determine what level of content marketing strategy you can consistently and easily output. So you want to define an easily achievable volume of content that you can actually dedicate to outputting. If you only have one team member that's dedicated towards doing content, maybe he can't create an article a day. Maybe it's more likely he's only going to create 1 or 2 articles a week, and that way he'll still have time to do other things that are involved in that process, like promotion and everything like that. Make sure it's easily achievable because you want to keep consistent. So if you set a goal to do a weekly article, always hit that goal of a weekly article. If you can, make it the exact same day of the week. If people understand and know when you put out content, they're more likely to return out of habit. Build a backlog of content as you go as well, because it'll allow you to work weeks or months or even quarters in advance, which will allow you to not have as much strain on your resources internally. Content grouping. Focus your 90-day strategy on a topic or theme for that quarter. That's going to allow you to keep the flow of content much more relevant, and you're able to move deeper and deeper into that content topic. So for example, if we were talking about sales funnels and that was the topic that we wanted to focus on, you'd start with, here's what a sales funnel is, here's sales funnel templates, here's sales funnel examples, here's how to optimize your sales funnel, here's some sales funnel hacks, things like that. You'll be able to dive deeper and deeper and deeper into the topic over the course of that period of time. That's going to allow people to become experts in that little field based on information and understand that you know what you're talking about in that particular field. Then you can move on to the next topic. Content types. So content can really be anything that's consumable in a medium. So it can be videos, it can be podcasts, infographics, articles, webinars, anything that's consumable in some type of medium. What you want to decide is how you want your content consumed based on the type of customers you have and the mediums that you have to work with. Articles and videos tend to be the easiest 2 mediums to work with just because it's easy for people to consume and it's really easy to create content on those 2 platforms. It's also really easy to switch between the 2 where you write an article, it works well, and you can repurpose it into a video. So what you want to do as you're creating content and as you're rolling out your strategy, you want to see what resonates best and look at repurposing that content into another medium. So if all you're doing right now is creating article-based content, that's awesome, that still works. What you want to do is look at your content over time and see what contents perform best. Take that content and create it into a video or create it into a podcast or an infographic, some other content medium file so that you can use it somewhere else. So if you created an infographic, that's awesome. You can take that, you can get people to link to it, you can build a lot of backlinks with it. It's a really powerful strategy. If you have a video, you can get it on YouTube, get a lot of views and a lot of likes and a lot of comments on it, and that can rank up just as well as your content. So for example, if an article on sales funnel examples was getting a lot of traction on your blog, then what you'd want to do is probably repurpose it into a video, because a video is actually really easy to show the examples and actually dive deeper into it. Or you might want to just show it as an infographic and talk about here's what works in this example, here's why it worked well, and go into the next one and follow through like that. So some content planning tools to help you out here. So there's a Google Doc linked below, and I'm going to go through the Excel file itself that's going to be in this Google Doc in just a second. And CoSchedule is an awesome tool for content planning. It's basically an editorial calendar, but it's much more team focused. So if you have a specific workflow of working through content writers and editors and planners and everything like that, CoSchedule works really well for managing that entire team, that entire process, and it's relatively cheap. Editorial calendar WordPress plugin is if you want to go bare bones, it's just you and maybe one other person. You want to work entirely on WordPress. The editorial calendar plugin will allow you to manage that entire process on WordPress. And really, it's mainly there for you to understand, okay, how far ahead have we planned content? Do we have this content ready as in draft? Get a good high-level overview of where things are. Okay, so we're going to switch over to the Excel file now. And so this is the content strategy document. So this is the document where you're going to be able to plan out your content strategy and understand where things are. And it's going to be a document that you can roll out across your team so everybody understands and they're all on the same page. So where you want to start off is in your content marketing goals. So you want to set a goal that's a little bit high level, basically just your overall 5,000 foot view objective with content marketing. So in our case, to become authority in the sales funnel strategy realm of things, that's what we want to go after in the next 90 days. Content marketing tangible objectives is where we're going to put tangible objectives and goals that we're going to strive for to achieve in these next 90 days. So the first one, we want to generate 30 sales funnel service leads by September 30th, 2016. So we want to generate 30 leads that are interested in our sales funnel service in the next 90 days. We want to rank on the first page for 2 out of the 10 keywords that we're targeting. And I'll show you in the 90-day plan in just a second that we're targeting a total of 10 keywords across multiple different content topics. We want to build an email list of 500 people interested in sales funnel information. So we want them to opt in to sales funnel specific lead magnets and content upgrades so that we know where their interest lies and where there's a good potential for service in their business. We want to build a Facebook audience of 200 plus people on every single blog that we post. So over the next 90 days, every single article that goes on our blog, we want to build a Facebook audience using the retargeting pixel for each of those blogs of over 200 people. That's going to allow us to retarget them for other offers, lead magnets, or maybe just to get them into a sales call. Now, the content theme or focus for this quarter is sales funnels. It relates directly back to the high-level goal that we're after. So the topic and the theme that we're going to be going after with all of our content is all around sales funnels. And the frequency that we can dedicate to based on our own resources is weekly. So once a week, we're going to put out a really long-form, valuable piece of content. Now, in terms of content creation resources, editing resources, and promotion resources, this is where you can list who is the key point person or key point people on your team that'll handle these specific tasks. So with content creation, that's myself and one of our other guys, Michael, as well as Text Broker, which is one of the content marketplaces out there. It's the one that we prefer the most. For editing, we have a freelancer named Tom. He's going to be helping us out with editing all of our content and formatting and optimizing it. And then for promotion, we have one of our other freelancers, Samin, as well as myself, who are going to be focusing on promoting that content using our content promotion checklist. And then the final bit here, which I didn't fill out because I have my own persona for our business, but the template for HubSpot, which allows you to create a really, really in-depth customer persona. And that's what you're going to build your content around. So you want to make sure your content always appeals to this persona that you're after. So if your persona, maybe your customer persona, the name's Sarah, they're age 26, they're a business owner who's just getting started in the entrepreneurial space, they're doing $50,000 to $100,000 a year, they mainly live in an urban city, and you want to go deep as that, or as deep as you can really, but if you can get as deep as that, that's awesome. That's going to allow you to tailor the content to think as your avatar would and understand where you need to drive that content and how you need to drive the flow of that content to really appeal to that person. So now, when you have that overview ready to go, this is going to allow you to get your entire team on board and on the same page. Now let's move over to the 90-day plan. So the 90-day plan, just reiterating here, we're focusing on weekly content frequency, and the content theme is sales funnels. So what we do here is we have 4 columns, super simple. We have headline A versus headline B. These are the headlines that we're going to be A/B testing to see which one performs better. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. The keyword target for that headline topic and what type of content it's going to be. So you'll see here we have a few different ones. Some of these are going to be blogs, which are going to be long form articles. Some are going to be infographics. Some are going to be videos. We don't have any podcasts because we haven't got into the podcasting realm of things, but you might have podcasts in here or audio files or whatever type of content medium you want to go after. So we're going to go through this really quickly, but basically all of these are starting off at the stage of someone who's already involved in the process of sales funnels or understands the concept of sales funnels, and then it works backwards. And the reason for this is we have a pretty ambitious goal of generating 30 sales funnel leads just using this content in the next 90 days. So our goal is to hit it really hard first, go after those people who are already qualified and interested in our service, and work backwards towards the larger audience available. So we're going through, here's some sales funnel templates, here's the stages of a sales funnel, here's some more sales funnel templates, but in a different medium as a video, sales funnel management, sales funnel software, sales funnel definitions, examples, training, stages again, but in a different medium, sales funnel software again, but in a different medium, the marketing funnel, and the inbound marketing funnel. So it's really straightforward, very basic. All you want to do is, based on your content frequency, ours is weekly. So in 90 days, there's about 13 weeks. So we've planned out 13 pieces of content to be created. So all you want to do is do the math there. So if you're going to do a daily article over 90 days, you want to have 90 of these rows filled out. And if if it's once a month, great, you can just do 3 and you're good to go. So very simple, very basic. All you want to do is make sure you fill that out before you move on to the next stage.